咁我哋今日開始啦。咁咧咁點解而家見到唔係 Bernard 主持緊咧？咁就可能因為今日 Bernard 咧冇辦法跟晒成個，咁我就大家好，咁我係即係 M3團隊嘅 Don。咁今次咧就係我哋慶祝香港特別行政區成立25週年城市規劃建築設計成就展第二次嘅 Exhibitors Sharing Session。咁其實我哋上個星期五咧就1個星期之前咧已經進行咗一次sharing session 啦。咁大家可以喺我哋 Facebook search 呢個Beyond Territories Making 去揾翻我哋之前上一次嗰個sharing session 嘅一個精彩嘅記錄。咁其實今次咧我哋有5位 exhibitor 啦，分別就係 Adam、Toby、陳麗橋、黃歐陽嘅3位嘉賓。周樂勤同埋 Ivan Mac 嘅。咁其實我哋有3位嘅展品咧已經喺呢一個場㗎啦。咁其實大家去分享完之後咧，可以即時帶各位觀眾咧去行去自己嘅展品度咧，就去即時去講解。咁亦都歡迎大家係即時發問。咁係啦，即時發問即係我哋一個 exhibitor 講完之後咧，即刻可以大家嘅觀眾直接問 ，instead of 等到最後。好，咁我哋事不宜遲咧，有請第一位嘉賓就係 Adam and Toby。
大家晚上好。因為我廣東話唔係幾好，所以後面啲present 可能用英文。Good evening, everyone. Okay. This is our information about ourselves. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our presentation tonight. And actually, I want to share you with some idea about architecture from the perspective of data. This actually is what we too are quite interested about, and we make some research about it, and finally we got this installation for this exhibition. So for the chapter 0, we want to talk about the data panopticon. Actually, this is from the book. It's called The Surveillance Capitalism. It's written by the Shoshana Zuboff. She got an idea about capitalism based on how we use the data. She thinks that data could be a new oil for the capitalism, because the oil we are using now is not a renewable resource, and she thinks that human activity can be the foundation of the surveillance capitalism. Therefore, and we are thinking about the idea of the panopticon. It's talking about how the watcher surveillance the control and the surveillance the prisoner. It's a prototype of architecture, and we think it can be used for the surveillance society. And we make a little history diagram to show how the architectural revolution and social transformation, how they relate to each other, how the time is so close, and they have they are well supported to each other. And also there was a famous talking by the Victor Hugo. He said, "This will kill that. The book will kill the edifice." And he thinks the industrial pressing forced the classical architecture to transform from a sacred storytelling space into a function-oriented form. So will the big data do the same thing? Transfer a function-oriented architecture into activity-oriented form. So data is well collected by the architecture. So chapter 1, accept. So actually, no matter we're talking about the big data, actually it's kind of a cliche of our time, and people think about how we're using the data, but eventually, even we've got the metaverse, eventually we are constrained in our physical form, the human body. And architecture provides a protection and the space for all possible human activities. And all the valuable data for human actually is happening in the architecture space. So architecture is a good data collection center. And also in the from Google, they got a data farm project, and you can see some diagram about how they seeding, growing, and harvesting the human data for the further using. Actually, we know, and also some videos, some fiction movies, and experimental art are talking about this future, something like the Black Mirror, and this is the film project. It's called DAU. And eventually came to our reality life. And for the last 3 years, so we have used this app, Live Home Safe, and people are giving their privacy to exchange convenience. So we make this installation to make people thinking, the infinity mirror for the visitors to glazing themselves, to thinking about what is your privacy, what is the value of your data.
So architecture has long been a tool for data collection and surveillance, way before this current age of big data. So in the 18th century, we see, like Adam said, there's the panopticon by Jeremy Bentham to design it as a type of institutional building. So in the following slides, we are going to look at the spatial quality of Hong Kong shopping centers to look at how is the similarities between panopticon and the local shopping malls, and see how it can be seen as a data panopticon. So you see the typology of mall architecture of Hong Kong. There are a lot of them that features atrium as a focal point, both physically and psychologically, as a mall providing a wayfinding purpose. So where shops on different levels can be visible from the atrium, data is exposed by the shops to customers. And as customers are able to see the displayed products and the style of shops, shops showcase their latest products or information through the glass window of the shop, and to draw visitors' attention to hope that they could become the customer. So in more recent design of shopping malls, you see in this era that we're attached to the internet, data of individuals are exposed to others using smartphones and social networks. So people volunteer to expose their data to increase their online visibility and to keep in touch with friends. So the physical spatial quality of an atrium is less important for businesses and shops because they can collect data of their target customers with the use of big data tools, and shops and businesses knows the preference and hobbies or even the habits of their target customers before they even enter the mall. And they could put personalized advertising to their customers. So we see this as an sort of an evolution of panopticon as an architectural typology. So previously, the spatial layout of the central inspection, where the visual connection is really important. But for now, in this age, with these big data tools, with embedded sensors, with our online exposures, activity, like architecture itself become an active machine to collect data. So architects or even AI could make use of these data to design buildings. So you might be wondering, what is it to do with Hong Kong or Hong Kong architecture itself? So for Hong Kong, there are three sort of major elements that is quite related to why we relate data, the big data era, with the architecture of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a very high dense city, and Hong Kong is a mall city. And there's a user awareness, which we will explain a bit later. So for high density, because Hong Kong is such a high dense city, you could collect data of people very efficiently. And there are a lot of unique possibilities and potential that architects can make use of this unique setting of Hong Kong. And also consumerism and of a mall city. What we mean is that Hong Kong is a city full of shopping centers, and consumerism is part of our daily lives. So instead of being on streets or in a plaza, we go on malls to hang out with our friends. So a shopping mall is almost like a social hub, more than a place for consumerism for people of Hong Kong. And that goes to, and also the user awareness. What we mean by high value users and high value data is that the people of Hong Kong are actually quite well off compared to different places. And so their data would be valuable to a lot of businesses. And that's why the data-driven architecture is quite related to the context of Hong Kong. So we're going to have a look at our exhibit itself. So you can see later or on the previous slide that we have the word accept and continue on the exhibit. So you can, on the two mirrors of the exhibit. So it's a button that we always use before we use any online services. And so this is sort of, maybe Adam can add a bit on it.
So actually this whole installation, we just trying to confuse people and to make them rethink what we are going to do and make them make selfies. So their data is exposed, and there are so many mirrors and infinite mirrors. So when you get inside, you will feel kind of uncomfortable, but with the metal curtain on the outside, you feel like you are in a cage, and you're probably safe, but it's unsafe at the same time. So we are trying to bring a concept like people to think about the value of their personal data. Yeah, that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam and Toby, for their interesting meaning behind their exhibits. Like the value of privacy, the value of person's data. Would you like to take everyone to the exhibits to have a look and enjoy it after this? Okay, sure. So the second speaker today is Chan Lai Q. Thank you.
Tôi dùng廣東話啦嚇，輕鬆啲。試下睇下得唔得先啊？應該向邊邊？咁樣撳你撳呢個，好啊，睇下得唔得先啊？向你係啦。對，sorry 嚇，睇下先啊。呢個係橙。好， 嗱，呢啲唔使講啊，即係我自己介紹我自己啦。咁我諗我喺呢班有好多大公司啦，有機構啦，我係當中少少好老嘅young客啦。我希望你聽完我講完之後嚇，咁咧就我個作品咧叫做小建築大自然嘅。咁我點解做呢個主題咧？我就知道我哋要去杭州啦，返大陸啦，去紐約啦。咁香港人攞啲咩出嚟見人呢？我成日都問緊自己呢樣嘢㗎。即係香港建築有啲咩可以見人呢？其實我覺得香港好多嘢都值得見人嘅，即係建築。不過唔係我哋傳統諗嗰啲建築嗰種建築。咁係點咧？咁咧就我今次咧係用緊兩間公司名嘅，一間咧就係 ArchiStudio， 一間咧就 AMQ 係我另一間公司，我起咗機場嗰條橋啦。咁喺7-8年前啦，我就自我格扯，識我嘅人就知道，高管唔做，跳落水做 startup 咁樣就由零開始。咁咧就呢段時間係幾痛苦嘅，因為咧你以為好易啦。你知道咧，其實啲人係信你間公司，唔係信你嘅。Despite 你有幾多經驗都好，咁就幾困難嘅揾作嚇。咁咧就閒來無事啊，搞下呢樣，搞下嗰樣，就走去 PNQ 開間鋪，跟住又走去開，又搞去玩 technology 比賽，又贏咗，又入咗科學園，又畢埋業咁樣，就做咗好多騎呢嘢啦。咁嗰種感覺咧就而家咧我就成竇仔女，因為嗰陣時咧就通處拈花惹草。咁拈花惹草之後咧，就唔覺咧就生咗好多仔女。咁見知啲仔女慢慢咧就個個都長大喎。咁我而家好金啊，一個個都喺度成長中。我今次咧就用緊我自己嗰間 ArchiStudio，OK，咁同埋一個我 technology startup ECVR 係一個 technology startup 嘅公司嚟做呢個 project 嘅。咁咧就我呢咁多年來學咗啲乜嘢咧？建築就做咗幾廿年啦 ，P&T 希慎咁樣咁。但係咧，我就 pick up 咗好多technology 嘅嘢。咁我做個 startup 啦，我係8年幾，不過我係 BI manager 啦。咁我係後期先 pick up 嘅。我係 Blender 啦、user 啦，我唔知你哋識唔識啦嚇。咁就即係 Blender 好好用嘅，真係，真係你中意佢咧無敵啊！簡直覺得佢嚇。咁我係一個即係我覺得係自我隔扯咗之後咧，就而家仲喺度試緊嘢，仲喺度摸索中嘅人啦嚇。好啦，嗱咁咧就我一直都玩緊好多騎呢嘢㗎。我呢個係 UABB 2019，我做咗個 digital game 啦，用呢個我叫香港上落棋啦，其實康樂棋不過 digital 嘅版本我做咗啦。咁啊做嗰啲 VR game 啦，咁啊做過 AR 嘅一個 recycle，全部係用一啲執翻嚟嘅燈泡做咗個展覽。咁全個嘢全部係燈泡做嘅嚇，咁一個AR 嘅嘢啦。咁咧我又用我嘅 VR startup 嚟做咗啲我叫做VR art 啦。咁呢個 VR 咧，如果你行呢間房，我成日都唔抵得咧，就見到 Van Gogh 張畫咧，就諗緊嗰間房有得3埲牆，我就畫咗佢喺第4埲牆度，佢坐咗喺度 lock down。即係佢喺間房裏邊咧戴住口罩喺度 lock down咁，即係呢啲你去 explore 下咧。咁我其實好想畫得好多幅嘅，即係將即係好多幅名畫咧，將佢見唔到嗰邊畫埋出嚟，不過真係唔夠時間啦。咁咧呢啲即係你知我幾無聊啦，即係我哋係想 show 下。好啦，咁咧就咁咧嗱呢個咧就另一個我一個 technology， 我有個startup 喺 PMQ， 而家有個 brand 叫做 GoCo Mahjong， 係做麻雀嘅文化嘅。我有個 YouTube channel 叫 GoCo Mahjong， 有40條片嘅，1週1片，一人做都算係咁噶啦，即係全職做，即係好多建築做緊嘅。咁我都覺得係種堅持。咁咧我做咗啲咩咧？就即係嗰陣時咧，我有個staff咧就好中意砌 Lego 嘅。咁我就即係佢幫我嘅，係咪唔係全部都我砌㗎？即係佢砌嘅。咁我就做咗個 VR 嘅 story。咁佢其實用緊嘅 technology 咧，就係我哋嗰個記得自己停咗嘅。唔知點解嗱，算啦嗱，即係你見到咧，就基本上咧，我係用個 VR 嘅環境，就將好多麻雀就砌咗做建築物啦，砌咗做恐龍啊，砌咗好多個世界啦。呢個係建築世界，應該有個恐龍世界。如果佢行到落去，而家停咗係咪？點解會停咗嘅？ 嗱，唔緊要啦，嗱，即係我諗你睇唔晒㗎啦，不過由張麻雀台，跟住上咗麻雀台，跟住由麻雀台個窿裏邊捐咗入去，咁就入咗個建築物就係麻雀砌嘅，咁個麻雀個世界行出去咧就棟建築物都係麻雀砌嘅，跟住跳咗落個窿咧入咗個恐龍世界裏邊就全部啲恐龍又係麻雀砌嘅，跟住再跳咗落個水嘅窿咧就全部海底嘅生物咧都係麻雀砌嘅，即係咁你就知道咧我都好貪玩，因為冇卡印嘅呢啲係為自己做㗎，咁咪恐龍啦。嗱，我唔 show 晒啦，咁成件嘢都幾得意嘅嚇。佢夠鐘佢自己停㗎，佢梗係嫌我長氣嚇。好，咁咧就嗱，咁我今次展乜嘢咧？我就小建築，我就好中意個大會咧，就要求我哋multidisciplinary 嘅，咁所以你梗係做啲自己唔識做嘅嘢啦。其實我覺得做展覽咧最過癮就可以做啲自己唔識做嘅嘢。咁你先有學到嘢噶嘛嚇，咁我呢個 project 咧，我就做個題目係點解咧？第一我就知道我哋出去見咩人，我哋唔可以失禮自己啦。咁香港叻咩啫？咪就係小建築大自然咯，即係我哋就 keep 到好靚嘅大自然，跟住靠我哋即使好叻咁小建築，所以先可以做到咁大自然。咁所以我就想開呢個 topic 嘅。咁其實呢件事咧唔係失驚無神嘅，其實咧。我都覺得自己幾犀利嘅。1986年啊，你出咗世未啊？好似未啊，嗬！1986年咧，我嘅畢業論文係做4度空間的建築㗎。嗰陣時係冇 apps 啊，冇 time 嘅。但係我做嗰個 topic 咧，就講緊點樣用 fourth dimension 去玩建築嘅。OK，咁嗰陣時嗰個嘢，咁嗰陣時我已經係做緊高密度文化㗎啦。當年咁咧就亦都同人哋合著咗呢本 The Big City 嘅書啦。都咁。呢個 research 裏邊咧，我學識咗好多，即係做咗一段時間嘅香港嘅 high density research。咁咧自己好無聊咁啊，作咗18首詩嘅。OK，咁啊，譬如咁呢啲啦，高樓鏈貼鏈，窗口面對面，默人肩並肩，鄰舍頭點頭，有冇 feel 啊？我都幾香港嘅。咁即係娛樂行係我舊陣時 project 嚟嘅，即係見街不見天，見光不見星，要樓不要面，要錢不要臉咁樣。咁我作咗18首詩未發表嘅，我終歸會發表嘅嚇。咁但係我好想做埋策劃嘅嚇。咁啊做咗好多，平時做埋好多儲埋啲倉底貨咧，一次過攞晒出嚟啦。即係今次就係我做嘅嘢。咁咧嗱，呢啲係我啲作品嚟嘅，即係pop up house 啊，呢啲即係唔講啦咧。咁我另外有個 series 嘅 artwork 咧，就叫做香港真好玩嘅。頭先嗰個咩啦，我又做咗副啤牌啦，又做咗個呢個跳飛機啦，由呢個60尺劏房開始跳到上去，後尾咧就變咗你個骨灰龕冇地方擺咗喺屋企。呢個係真嘅，因為我媽咪嗰個骨灰龕擺咗我屋企好耐，因為嗰陣時等唔到位啊，即係咁啊講緊呢個古仔啦，我有副大麻雀啦，有好多騎呢嘢啦咁。好啦，咁我就都話啦，我攞晒啲倉底貨一次過擺晒出嚟咁樣，咁其中一個倉底貨就係呢副啤牌啦，咁我帶咗呢副啤牌去嘅。好啦，咁我呢個係為今次創作嘅，咁大家如果知道呢個，可能你見過呢個 graphic 噶啦，咁係一個德國嘅 lady， 中國人嚟嘅，咁不過咧我就將佢個版本咧就做個建築版本，咁你就見到啦，樓梯級話22.5乘17.5，即係好極噶，即係咧，咁呢個我就將佢嗰個 concept 就做咗個建築 version 啦，建築嘅空間 version 啦，香港人最係做咩嘅咧咁樣？咁呢啲點樣用咧？我就又帶咗去啦嚇，咁哇點樣將咁多嘢串埋一堆咧咁樣？好啦，嗱我講咧就話我哋香港人嘅建築係呢啲嚟嘅。OK， 嗱嗰啲咧好型啊，好過癮嗰啲咧就我哋香港人就冇乜機會做嘅，成日都ASC 或者有機會做啦，我哋冇乜機會做嘅啫。咁樣咧，我哋做啲建築物咧似個手機多過似呢啲嘅，咁係一個好精準 check 到好好，因為點解咧？我哋塞落個城市個窿 ，OK， 咁你即係等於咧塞落個褲袋一樣嘅啫，要無棱無角嘅。好啦，嗱咁咧我就寫咗將成件事串咗寫咗個劇本嘅。OK， 我中意玩啊嘛嚇，咁我就即係寫咗個劇本啦。咁我梗係唔會同你慢慢講噶啦。咁就嗰個嘢咧係5分鐘噶。等我睇下行唔行到啦。我唔講啦，即係我 just show 下，即係呢個係我畫嘅 storyboard 嚟嘅成件事。咁陣間我會好快咁樣講晒成個古仔噶啦。咁咧我得5分鐘嘅啫，剩翻。好啦，嗱咁啊呢啲一啲 artwork 啦。 OK，咁咧嗰個古仔咧，其實就由一張台開始嘅。咁咧我就其實係用一張台咧，嗱咁我呢個我自己喺度整嘅，即係我中意做手工啊嘛。咁咧呢個pizza 喺個台面咧就係其實香港嗰個 pie chart 嚟嘅，1/4個build up， 3/4個green。咁樣咧就個台面裏邊咧，其實成個故事就喺度發生噶啦。咁咧個故事係乜嘢咧？一陣間我開住條片咧就會同你講。咁我就全部咧呢個每一件嘢咧都有個古仔嘅。咁係點樣咧？咁樣睇我播唔播到條片啊？咁啊呢個嗱，呢個就係一個 digital 版本，呢個就係當時嘅展品。咁呢個展品個電視機就播住我條片嘅。好啦，我睇下佢係咪行緊。麻煩你幫我 click 一下啦。咁我喺度講古仔咯。咁個則師咧對住自己張台 ，OK， 哇，夢想啊，起啲好型嘅建築物。嗱，好粗鄙噶，做咗其實好短時間嘅啫啊，成件事，哇，即係希望起啲好 sculptural 嘅嘢。不過打開佢個設計人模書，個西就有咁大 ，OK， 咁點咧咁樣？咁我咧就跟住佢跳咗入去個西裏邊。咁咧佢個西就咁噶啦。OK， 就係4邊都係長嘅，呢個超濃縮版本啊。咁咧，我本來想畫個 lift 嘅，不過我做唔似啲人啊。咁咧，總之入咗個 lift 咁，跟住咧，我就其實咧就入咗一條香港嘅街嘅。咁咧，其實就香港有好多字咧，成個嘢都係我哋嘅文化都同個街有關嘅，咩 even 撲街啊、行街啊、上街啊、落街啊，即係因為我哋個 living room 就喺出邊啦。跟住咧就將香港好多棟建築物塞咗落一個 condensed city 裏邊咧，就有好多棟建築物嘅古仔嘅。OK， 咁就講啊呢棟建築物，即係全部都係啲好有特色嘅。咁譬如阿 Center，我將佢成件嘢拆晒散嗰啲，我對則師唔使講噶，你明白我講緊乜嘢噶啦？喺 Hysan Place 我起嘅，咁樣即係有份起嘅，咁就即係好多呢個係社會嘅嗰啲 government complex 啊。跟住咧你就跳翻出嚟入咗個筆筒，咁個筆筒咧就似香港嗰啲建築物啦，咁樣係啦。咁喺個筆筒度咧，咁每一件嘢咧就隻杯就話俾你聽，其實建築咧。係用緊我裏邊嘅空間，個殼係唔係 everything 嘅。個 pizza 即係每件嘢咧都篤咗個古仔出嚟，嗰個Swiss 嗰個刀啊，咁即係呢度咧，其實喺個台面度咧，就係佢喺度每件事咧得到一啲啟發，就知道咧即係建築原來有咁多個角度去睇嘅。跟住咧，哇！佢翻出嚟睇下我哋個美麗嘅城市咁樣，就全靠我哋呢個建築嘅呢啲咁嘅超技能咧，就令到我哋可以 keep 到一個咁靚嘅 city 啦。咁咧就最後尾咧就會有啲啟發啦，咁跟住咧就又開始碌起啦，跟住由條片度，咁呢個咧就係我好短時間內，你想象下咧，做到咁嘅嘢，用幾多人做咧？一個 intern 加我就做咗呢條片出嚟，咁樣即係我覺得我即係將成件事做咗1成到啦，即係呢件要 properly done 咧，可能應該要俾多好多 budget 同埋好多時間嘅，不過。好短時間內試咗一個用 VR 做嘅一個 experience 啊！我超時啊！我俾翻
好，唔該，好多謝China Q 嘅分享啦。係咯，原來我喺杭州見到擺咗個電話喺度，我仲幾驚人攞咗佢啊！係啦，原來有咁多故事，係啦。好，咁有請下一位分享嘅嘉賓，係黃歐陽嘅3位。
係，hello，喂，我簡單介紹先啦，係啦，我係 Marco 啦，咁 Brian 同埋 Andy，咁我哋係嚟自黃歐陽香港有限公司。想問係咪有個係俾我哋撳？呢個點樣撳？呢個撳。OK，我撳啦，係啦。係啦，咁呢個就好快簡單介紹啦。咁即係知道黃歐陽，我估大部分人喺行內都有聽過啦，就係最早其中一間咧。係由本地訓練嘅 ArchiDec 咧去創立嘅，咁其中一位創辦人就係 Mr. Jackson Wong 啦，黃澤生先生。咁呢個咧就係我哋嘅展品啦，展品個名咧叫做The Facade Fabrica。咁咧其實我最初入嚟黃歐陽做嘅時候咧，都只不過聽過黃歐陽有做好多商場啊，好多好 commercial 嘅 project 或者啲大型嘅 development。咁咧，直到咧我有一次去咗 M+ 嗰度去睇嗰啲 architecture 嘅 exhibition 咧，即係發現原來咧黃澤生先生早期咧有做過好多 modernist 啊或者好 brutalist 嘅一啲設計。咁到嗰時咧就開始發現，其實原來嗰間即係呢間公司嘅歷史咧，由即係同香港嘅城市設計嘅進程一齊，由一個石屎森林慢慢去到一個玻璃之城。咁所以我哋咧就開始咧就去 trace back 翻，究竟黃歐陽呢間公司或者黃澤生呢個 creative mind，究竟由當初最初創立呢間公司，去到越嚟越近期嘅 project，究竟去做啲乜嘢？咁就會好明顯見到由最左手邊嘅好多好石屎 concrete 主導嘅一啲建築啦，去到後期咧就越嚟越多一啲玻璃幕牆嘅建築。咁其實呢個咧都同香港城市嘅進程咧都十分之相近。咁我哋咧就不斷去 brainstorm，究竟點樣可以表達翻呢一個嘅歷史嘅進程，同埋佢同一個 creative mind，但係佢點樣咧去 adapt 住，即係 adapt 去一啲唔同嘅時代、一啲設計時代嘅潮流。咁我又諗一啲唔同嘅方法去表達呢樣嘢啦，喺呢個展品度。咁第一個方法咧，我哋就係將佢唔同嘅嘢咧去 juxtaposition 咁擺埋一齊，等大家咧可以見到呢個進程。咁第二樣嘢咧，我哋都想利用呢個 projection 嘅方法，咁樣去 show 到咧建築除咗佢係一個實體一個硬件之外咧，亦都可以我哋想 show 得到究竟啲人喺入邊點樣去生活，同埋喺入邊點樣去成長。咁第三樣嘢咧就係想透過 fabrication 咧，去將呢啲佢唔同嘅建築嘅設計咧，個 weave 翻埋一齊，令到咧可以睇得到成個進程係一個好統一嘅一個進程。咁我嚟到呢度就俾 Brian 講一講我哋嗰個 design。
係，咁其實咧平時如果睇開一啲建築嘅個人展咧，其實多數啲建築就會將每個 building 咁分開咁擺埋一齊。咁我哋其實今次就係想表達嗰種黃澤生嘅作品咧，由一啲石屎嘅 building 就演變咗一啲 glass building 咧。咁所以咧，我哋就選擇咗咧用一種好似 collage 咁嘅方法咧，就將黃澤生嘅 building 嘅 facade 咧，就連成一個 continuous facade。咁咧就亦都咧，你見嘅上面有張圖就係將咧一組線咧，好似就同嗰個 facade 咧就 blend 埋一齊咧，就其實想盡量將嗰個 building facade 個邊線咧，同埋個 surrounding 個環境咧就 blur 翻埋一齊嘅。咁呢個一個 original 嘅 design 咧，就本身一個諗住一個 curtain 嘅設計啦。咁後面咧，其實咧，我哋最後演變出嚟咧，就係一個你見到好似龍門架咁嘅 concept 啦。咁其實呢個展品有兩面嘅，第一面咧就係黃澤生嘅啲 facade 嘅一個 3D print 啦，就係一個我哋 collage 出嚟嘅一個 progression 啦。咁然後後面咧就有啲繩咧，就由地底度穿上嚟啦，然後就亂翻落個 facade 度嘅。咁我哋特登將嗰啲 facade 嘅邊線咧就模糊咗佢咧，就其實想映照咗就係話嗰個城市嘅 fabric 咧，就 weave 翻埋落去個 facade 度咯。係啦，咁我哋都即係多謝啦。咁即係 exhibitor 都俾到盡量即係最大嘅空間，我哋都用盡咗佢啦。因為呢個都畢竟係一個好大嘅 exhibit 啦。咁我哋就攞咗就將呢一個所有嘅啲 facade 咧就排成一線，就喺個 eye level 度，然後咧就前後咧我哋就有啲 projection 咧就project 落前面個 facade 度，同埋咧後面嗰啲fabric 嘅線度啦。係啦，咁就你見啦，即係一啲 detail 嚟嘅啫。咁不過你見到其實後面就都即係差唔多見都總共成好似300幾條線咧。咁都好多謝呢個即係呢個exhibitor 幫手即係安排人手去穿啦，即係穿咗都好耐應該。咁都係一啲係啦，咁就其實你見最後個成品就會見到嗰個 facade 就展覽住一個嗰個 building 入面嘅一啲生活嘅剪影啦。咁一啲真實嘅相啦。咁其實除咗呢一個係黃澤生嘅作品嘅 facade 之外咧，其實呢個都變咗做我哋呢一個 exhibition 入面嘅一個，即係都係個 facade 啦，變咗我哋呢個 exhibition 嘅 space 嘅一個 shop front 啦。係，咁就呢啲相即係都係。
Hello，係啦，咁其實頭先阿 Marco 同埋 Brian 都即係演繹咗我哋本身個 concept 嗰個大概個內容啦。咁其實我哋喺多謝 Creator 啦，阿 Roger 同埋阿 Bernard 咧，其實佢哋都好幫我哋手啦，即係一直咁樣去 develop，即係發展呢一個故事點樣可以更加生動咧。咁我哋就將影片咧呢個模式咧就放咗入去一個呢個展品入邊嘅。咁呢個展品你會見到其實可能一陣可以見到啦。咁就我哋嘗試將香港人嘅日常生活啦，其實好多時都係一啲辦公室嘅生活啦，同埋一啲家居嘅生活啦，甚至乎小至我哋細個喺學校嘅生活咧，其實都嘗試去投影翻落去我哋呢一個即係本身係一個硬生生嘅一個即係一個可以話係歷史嘅一個見證啦，即係由石屎去到玻璃嘅轉變啦。咁去到即係去到一個展品，一個寫照，一個縮寫啦。咁我哋睇下睇唔睇到段片啦。係啦，咁我哋嘗試咧就將利用晒嗰個展品嘅兩邊啦，後邊同埋前邊咧，咁我哋後邊就做一個 backdrop 咁樣嘅模式啦。咁就嘗試展現翻香港，其實我哋日常生活其實多數都係圍繞住維多利亞港啦。咁有日頭同埋夜晚啦。咁前邊咧就展現翻一個即係由慢慢一個外立面啦，去到原來城市係反映緊我哋每一個生活嘅細節啦，去到甚至乎天氣啦同埋季節嘅。咁睇下睇唔睇到段片？係啦，咁呢一個就係我哋嘗試做一啲識做嘅嘢啦，就係做啲影片啦，點樣投入翻落去。其實中間都經過好多啲 testing 啦。咁啊，點樣可以教翻個角度啦？甚至乎即係我哋其實都唔好熟悉啲 project 啦。咁啊，由夜晚慢慢去漸變到日頭一啲嘅生活模式啦。我哋嘗試用剪影嘅方式去凸顯翻唔同人，即係喺呢一個唔同建築物咧，黃澤新先生設計嘅建築物入邊咧，原來有好多唔同嘅。你會見到頭先由左邊嘅學校啦，去到醫院啦。甚至乎而家我哋成日日常生活見到嘅寫字樓啦嘅一啲日常生活啦，唔同人可能行過啊咁樣。咁我哋即係透過呢一啲嘅影像咧，嘗試去放翻去一個展品度咧，令到佢變得更加即係生動有趣啦。雖然即係可能係一啲基本上未必睇到咁清楚，你睇下可唔可以睇到下一段？呢個就係前邊嗰個面啦。咁後邊我唔sorry，後邊我唔可能唔使到咁多，其實都係一啲香港我哋成日見到維多利亞港啦，甚至乎係一啲即係外立場啦，即係我哋好引以為傲嘅一啲城市嘅建築物啦，係啦，維多利亞港啦，等等呢一啲建築物咧，其實都係慢慢咁樣編織緊我哋嘅生活啦，編織緊我哋嘅城市。咁我哋就係想透過黃澤新先生同埋我哋香港嘅面貌咧，去慢慢織出呢一個故仔。咁無論係即係記錄過往啦又好啦，同埋編織將來，我哋都對住呢個城市有更加大嘅期望啦。係啦，主要就係透過唔同人嘅角度啦，可能喺外邊望入去，出邊望翻入嚟，咁樣係啦。咁主要就係咁多，多謝。
係好多謝三位啊！真係一個好特別，尤其是打卡會非常之靚嘅一個展品。咁大家等陣完咗之後，真係必須要去望一望。咁可能三位再簡介一下。好，咁啱啱唔記得咗添。會唔會有人有即時有想問多少少嘅嘢？因為可能唔記得咗之後，關於今次佢哋呢個 fabric 嘅展品。哦，係 Adam。
我想問你哋嗰個展品最大嘅 challenge 係咩啊？你會覺得？
你講先啦，你講先。
我諗兩部分啦，即係可能唔好講啲太概念嘅嘢。即係第一個難部分就係嗰個，即係我覺得個 3D print 同埋嗰個繩嗰個，即係我點樣整咗個 blur 嗰個模咗個建築同埋嗰個線之間嗰個 detail，我覺得係最難夾，我哋係其中一個難夾嘅地方啦。第二就頭先 Andy 都提到就係嗰個 即係投影方面啦。不過投影嗰度我俾佢講。咁其實我哋都夾咗好多次嗰個同師傅啦，即係傾咗好多次好多轉，究竟個 detail 點樣收嗰個 3D print，同埋點樣去鑲嗰啲線咯。即係亦都即係究竟啲線會唔會密得滯咧？我哋都試咗好多唔同嘅即係粗幼嘅線啦，即係睇到 make sure 到後面嗰個面，因為我哋有個 projection 咁樣，可以 make sure 到個image 係可以 clearly 喺後面 show 到，即係要 catch 到個 light 咧。咁我哋都試咗唔同密度同埋唔同嘅線嘅粗幼咯。咁嗰個都搞咗都1、2個星，即係幾個星期去 back and forth 咁樣搞咯。咁或者投影
好。其實除咗投影之外咧，頭先講到其實就 3D printing 咧，我哋知道幫我哋整個 model 嘅IDS 咧，咁佢哋都因為我哋個展品展出咗幾場啦，跟住我哋爛咗嗰個 model，咁其實即係中間都學咗唔少，即係點樣可以令到件嘢係更加即係穩固啦，唔會咁容易爛啦。咁頭先講到影片嗰度，其實都試咗好多。即係好多輪啦，即係點樣可以原來投影落去個 projector 原來好難，我哋以為即係就咁好似睇電影院睇戲插隻 USB 入去咁啊播到，原來唔係，即係可能又要唔知點樣轉檔咧。MP4 原來好多 format 嘅，即係我哋完全都唔知啦。即係呢一啲都係一啲難處啦。即係無論係距離點樣去掌握啦，個角度啊各樣嘢，甚至乎即係而家見到我哋都唔係即係最理想嗰個狀態，即係都可能。啲影片有啲顏色上偏差，或者有啲即係角度上嘅偏差，原來都好難去掌握嘅。咁所以即係呢啲都希望，如果我哋下次有機會，可能可以再進步落去啦。咁但係即係呢個都係一個好好嘅機會去即係睇返原來我哋嗰個香港嗰個建築原來係可以咁多樣性啦，原來係有咁多可能性喺裏邊咯。
好多謝 Toby 嘅問題，咁佢解唔解答到？個 challenge 係咯，好咁好多謝 Toby 嘅問題啦，同埋兩位解釋啦。咁最後一位講者就係有請我哋嘅周樂勤。
咁好啦，咁啊第一件事多謝 M5 邀請啦嚇。咁我今日講中文定講英文？話說咧，上次咧喺 Social Society 咧，就我唔知點解成為咗唯一一個講中文嘅人，咁所以我諗我係全場嘅人講英文係得我一個人講中文。咁啊，所以今日咧，不如補翻一場啦，我試下講翻英文啦咁樣。但係即係其實係識講廣東話嘅，即係大家可以Q&A 都可以講。咁一個 proposal 啊，rain garden，what is it？Basically what we say a rain garden is a sunken planter over here, or a sunken catchment area that collects rainwater. This is a proposal. Today I'm going to talk about two things. One is the rain garden in front, and then second is the building behind. 大家講兩樣嘢，一個係個雨水花園，一個係後邊嗰棟樓。And that is hopefully how it should look like, or we want it to look like at night. So it is not just a garden, but it's a public open space. It allows for performance, allows for screening, and you know, it's a multi-purpose and for meditation, for skateboarding. And it is also interesting to question whether we are going to have a slope or not. I mean, think about in HSBC, think about in Centre Pompidou in Paris, right? A slope is where people would sit over there, right? It is a kind of ergonomics. Whereas if you do a flat ground in public space, sometimes people will not sit over there. But we agree, it is not a must, right? Because it depends on program, depends on the size of the site, etc., etc. So rain garden, what is it? Basically, it attenuates peak drainage flow and enhances urban resilience. And here's the problem. Look, here is in Shanghai, right? 成日都水浸，每年都水浸啊！以前，it used to flood every year. The way we resolve this in Hong Kong is by reinforced concrete. 係咪？我哋最中意用石屎解決問題。We do the concrete nullars, we do the concrete manholes, and you know, even underground drainage system, underground drainage tank. Now, we are not saying they are ineffective. They are effective, but they are very expensive, first of all. And second, they do not provide filtration. That means all the surface runoff, all the pollutants are going to be washed down to the sea or to the river, and that is problematic. And that's why we say, okay, that's why we say we need a sort of rain garden system. But we call it responsive. And it's not something unique. If you go to the United States, they call it LID, low impact development. It has been very mature since the 70s. That is, we use a series of hydrological infrastructure from small rain gardens all the way to artificial wetland to absorb the water at its own location. And it also do a kind of filtration system. And that means it is more, it will help to filter and retain the filtrated water before discharge into the urban water. And so here is a proposal. You see the perennial tall grass. These grasses, they have it is scientific. They have a filtration property. And this is what we did for the design, the patterns, and then we did a movie for M3. So basically, we were very thankful to Roger and to Bernard and to Stanley that we were being given a chance to do a film for this kind of rain garden design. You can have a look at the film over there if you want. Yeah, so it is a proposal. You know what people are asking about it, you know, obviously, it is something new in Hong Kong. It is not new in China, not new in the United States, not new in Europe. But people have a lot of questions. First of all, they say, well, there's stagnant water. What if there's mosquitoes? We say it is not the case because it's going to dry to 1 to 2 days and we have overflow. And then, you know, the idea of a rain garden is that the soil will absorb the water rather than directly drain into the concrete surface channel. So it is a mature concept. And there's also one interesting question is people say, oh, you mentioned about urban biodiversity, right? It is going to attract birds. What happens if there's 禽流感? What happens if there's H5N1? You know, and then sometimes we respond by saying like, 即係喺香港想種多棵樹咧都難啊嚇，即係咁多問題嘅。But you know, we say, well, why don't you guys do better personal hygiene control and that kind of thing, or maybe survival of the fittest? But anyways, from 2017 over there, all the way to 2022, the project is still ongoing. You know, how much iteration we have gone through from simple to complicated, then back to simple, and then complicated, and then simple again. And it's also interesting to see this is 2017, and then 2018, and then 19. Now, and here is the question. I like this image a lot, but we were being challenged by that. Look, it is a Photoshop, right? It doesn't show the correct tree height. It doesn't show the correct grass height. And so we were being asked, like, how does it look like in reality? Does it block the historical facade? And like, how transparent the trees are going to be? And so we switched to 100% BIM. Almost like a VR. We input all the trees and grass one-to-one in the correct scale. Also, all the buildings, they are all in correct perspective. And then we make sure that the trees we select are tall enough and transparent enough so as not to block the heritage building's facade. And yeah, we keep on design, you know, using the digital and VR or so called rendering as a way to design and to test out the iterations. That's how it looks like. And that comes to the second part of the project. Why do we have this rain garden? It is actually has something to do with revitalization. Some of you might have about it. Is the revitalization scheme with Alex batch 5 already. If you know what it is, we have Nam Muk before, right? We have Lai Zhi Kok Yi Yuan, which is Yu Zhong Yi Manfa Guan. Those are the revitalization projects. It's actually one of the projects we have been working on. It's batch 5. It's called Lumo Market in Fanning, a single-story building, very small, 600 square meters, and then. Here's the proposal we're trying to do, and here's the rain garden. It is on the west of the site, and you know the sunlight is going to come down, so it's going to be very hot in the summer, and that's why we have the trees for the shade and hopefully for a public open area. And then in the middle is a building in E shape. Program, something very important. As architects, we are as well as listeners. We did not come up with a program by ourselves, and the operator did not come up with the program by themselves. So we went, you know, for all revitalization projects, for all heritage projects, there are always people who protest. There are always public opinion. So what we did is we go down to the streets campaigns, and you know, people were setting up forums, and we see what people really want. And we were proud because at the end of the day, our proposal can fulfill almost 90% of the public comment. And what's the remaining 10% is, you know, in the public, there's always an opinion of a very nostalgic feeling that, oh, it was used to be a market. So when we revitalize it, it has to be a market. So there's no change in program. At some point, we do not agree with that because history is moving forward. The idea of heritage is to look in the future. So we consider that we reserve some of the exhibition. We have some of the stores, but we also introduce some new programs. Of their shops and stores and dining, all kind of things. Another perspective, and then we've also got the Annex block over here. Technical challenge would be in order to revitalize this kind of historic building, you need some modern day requirements, your fire sprinkler system, your water pumps, etc., etc. And with Annex block over here, reinforced concrete fairface, a skew of the corrugated steel sheets of past architecture. Services coordination is very important. The historical building, we want to conserve it, preserve it as much as we can, so we cannot touch it. But we have to consider all the sprinklers and air conditioning, and that's why we really need to be very careful. We spent so much time just to coordinate to make sure the ceilings are going to be minimal, and then we keep these visual angles, and the tilted planes are going to follow the existing planes. The idea is that when you walk inside the new build, the revitalized building, it is going to look almost the same as the old building. That's our intention. Construction images from left to right, this is how it looks like today, with the work is still carrying on, and this is what we hope it will look like. Indirect lighting, everything is very minimal, so you walk inside as if nothing has changed before. Some more drawings and intentions behind, and then signage. We work on total design. We try to even furniture, 100% BIM. Even the furniture we did was in BIM. I mean, it was such a torture. We spent so much time on it. I think it is such a long processing time, but we are able to, by using BIM, to have an early coordination and to have a, I would say, a better situational awareness of what's happening. Heritage interpretation area. And then, this is what it's going to look like. The rain garden is over there, and then the middle building, and then there's also an annex, and then a public open space. It is a difficult project. In fact, we have been fighting a lot. We're still fighting for it, and there are so many arguments and debates, but we also have a goodwill. We really want it to be a public space enjoyed by different people. When people come in, they just have to pay for it, and they really go inside the building and they also enjoy the public space. And that's it. We hope it will be a good project. Thank you.
好多謝周樂強分享，佢個 video 嘅製作真係花咗唔少功夫嘅，一定係啊，好犀利。咁大家其實佢嘅展品就喺呢度啫，咁就一陣間可以大家去睇。好，最後一位講者係我哋嘅 Ivan， 係。
大家好，咁首先自我介紹下先啦，我係 Annex 嘅 Ivan 啦，咁我都 volunteer at the AIA Hong Kong chapter as 一個 committee 嘅 member。咁首先即係恭喜 M3 一個咁 amazing 嘅 exhibition 啦，由杭州到北京到紐約，係啦，到而家終於翻到嚟香港啦。咁即係第一次，我都有去到紐約嗰個 exhibition 嘅。咁今次第一次可以全面咁樣睇晒大家嘅 exhibits，咁當然非常之開心啦。咁就應該會比較簡短啲嘅，我一個分享係啊。咁係啦，即係 AIA。咁我哋今次個展品咧，其實個 title 叫做 Experience Hong Kong， 但係今次 talk 我有講到話，其實係想用 Connect 做一個主題嘅。咁 Connect 其實係我哋2022年 President 個一個 theme 啦，即係 KPF 嘅 Florence Chan 佢嘅一個2022年度嘅一個主題 Connect 咁樣嘅。咁先講翻個展品，可能各位朋友唔係有好多時間去睇啦。咁其實就係好簡單，兩個 board 同埋一個短片咁樣嘅。咁樣其實一個主題就係咁啱，我哋呢個25週年啦，都係 Hong Kong AIA Chapter 嘅25週年。咁舊年我哋就想做少少特別啲嘅嘢啦。咁可能係 social media 上面嘅一個 campaign。咁我哋就係諗到一個主題，其實係 derive from 舊年嘅一個情況啦。2022年，即係大家都係 COVID stuck in Hong Kong， 咁其實有咩做咧？咁就諗到可能係一個 Experience Hong Kong， 我哋係用一個香港有嘅建築物，但係 AIA members design 嘅一個主題嚟做一系列嘅 campaign。咁亦下一頁睇到咧，我哋嗰個主要嘅 idea 就係，譬如如果香港好出名嘅一個 building 啦，譬如 IMP 嘅Bank of China， 咁可能大家尤其是係我哋自己 industry 裏面咧，就會覺得會比較討論佢嘅譬如 detail 啊、massing 啊、context 啊，同埋佢嘅chief architect 啊咁樣。然後，但係其實我哋同一時間都成日忘記咗，其實一個 building 自己喺個城市裏面係對城市其他人有一個更加大嘅一個影響啦，同埋一個體驗。咁可能 to general public 係佢哋 可能 memories 啊，可能佢哋翻工嘅地方，可能佢哋有啲 personal 嘅 ties to 嗰個 building 啦，又可能佢哋 daily lives 會經過咁。其實好多呢啲嘢，我哋日常生活都冇可能接觸到，或者冇一個渠道俾大家一齊分享咁樣嘅。咁樣我哋就做咗一系列嘅呢啲 post 啦。咁我哋 social media 上面每一個禮拜就會 feature 一個 post，就大部分即係其實全部都係 AI members 喺香港過往或者而家比較 recent 啲嘅都有design 嘅啲 project，又每個禮拜就會邀請大家喺我哋嘅 comment section 上面咁樣討論啦。咁當然depends on 個 project 同埋 depends on 個時間啦，有啲係會有多啲 traction，有啲就少啲。咁其中一個比較受歡迎嘅咧就係IFC 啦。咁當時都可以 tag 到好多即係當時 work on 呢個 project 嘅嗰啲同事，即係 sales 都好多同事喺度comment，然後有唔同嘅當時嘅 consulting 咁樣分享翻佢哋嘅一個回憶。咁我哋就覺得哇，好似可以將成件事帶埋一齊 connect 到大家咁樣。咁呢個係我諗2月份嘅時候啦，咁都睇到好多其他即係 general public 或者 within 個 industry 啲人都會分享佢哋對呢一個 project 或者對呢個建築物嘅一啲佢哋自己嘅諗法同埋自己嘅一些回憶咁樣。係啦，當中就有呢啲即係我哋自己見到都會覺得哇，好值得懷念嘅一啲照片啊，可能 under construction 嘅時候啊，又可能我哋有啲 members 嘅 sketch，然後有啲當時嘅即係參與呢個 construction 嘅一啲或者 design 嘅一啲同事啦。咁亦都有啲照片其實可以睇到唔單止係個建築物自己啦，但係對於嗰個城市嘅面貌個改變都係非常之大。咁我哋覺得呢啲都係好 valuable 咁樣嘅。咁然後3、4月份嘅時候，即係 M3 又 approach 我哋，都好多謝HKI invite 咗我哋啦。咁嚟做呢一個exhibition is one of the exhibitor 嘅。咁樣個 theme 就係 made， 然後之後 make beyond 啦 ，making beyond，sorry，making beyond territories。咁對於我哋嚟講 ，beyond territories 咧，當然好多個範疇啦。咁其中我哋覺得可以 relate 到我哋目前之前做到嘅嗰個 campaign 就係做一個 connect beyond territories 啦，直情。咁其實 social media 上面係可以將呢一個 connection 做到更加廣啦、更加大。咁我哋就利用呢個諗法做咗，即係 based on 我哋之前我哋 post 咗個 board 同埋呢個短片嘅。咁短片其實最主要都係想即係呢啲淨係啲 screen cap 咯，我費事擺咗成條片上嚟。其實係Asia Society 嘅。咁其實係想帶翻出比較 general public 嘅一啲視覺啦。咁樣譬如香港人點樣即係 daily lives 係點樣，然後再穿插一啲我哋之前嘅 post 同埋一啲朋友嘅一啲 comments 啦。然後其實最主要係以一個平常人嘅一個視覺去睇呢一啲 project 嘅。咁譬如喺 Hazen Place 啦，正話有提過嘅。咁有好多一啲即係一啲 area 都係好容易可以俾大眾咁樣去 interact 到。所以我哋覺得建築喺呢一個方面，譬如 connect 同埋話beyond territories 係以一個咁樣嘅一個形式而呈現出嚟啦。咁然後呢一個就係啲 zoom in 嘅嗰啲個 board 嘅 idea，就係我哋都擺翻啲 comment 上去。其實對於我哋嚟講比較似係一個 collaborative 嘅一個展品啦。因為好多嘢都係我哋喺大眾嘅嗰啲 comment 上面即係抽取，然後之後擺翻上嚟，即係有少少似係 curate 咗一個 board 咁樣。然後之後亦都邀請即係嚟睇 exhibition 嘅一啲朋友可以 scan， 然後之後留低佢哋嘅一啲 comments 同埋一啲諗法啦。雖然即係去到杭州，然後北京到紐約咧，而家我都冇睇到好大幅嘅一啲 comment 嘅增長啦。但係唔知係咪因為 social media 有啲 censor 嘅問題，但係都非常之希望大家可以一齊去參與呢個 discussion 啦。咁我都想借呢個機會 promote 下少少我哋個會啦。咁即係 AI Hong Kong Chapter 其實唔單止係淨係 for AI members 嘅，我哋都有好多唔同嘅一啲 event 可以希望大家參與。咁過往呢年其實2022我哋都有40幾50個 event， 咁嚟緊2023年更加多啦。咁呢一啲其實所有嘅 event 喺我哋嘅 website 上面咧都有個 link， 或者 YouTube 都可以睇翻嘅啲 webinar。然後之後另外一個比較受歡迎嘅，我哋都有好多 building tours 啦。咁係咯， 都希望大家可以參與下，或者上我哋個 website 睇下呢個舊年都頗受歡迎，同埋都好多 educational 嘅 aspects 咯。咁係咯，就如果大家有興趣嘅話，可以 scan 我哋 QR code，或者上我 website，咁都喺度祝大家聖誕快樂啦，新年快樂，多謝。
哇！見到好多好 iconic 嘅建築啊！咁原來都係 AIA Hong Kong 嘅 member 去做嘅。咁其實嗰陣AIA Hong 嗰陣我哋去到 New York 嘅時候咧，President 咧Florence 咧都有跟埋去。咁喺我哋 symposium 裏面都有一個演講嘅分享嘅。咁大家有興趣咧，絕對可以係去上翻我哋 Facebook 睇啦，係啦。好，咁5位講者都分享晒啦，大家會唔會對今次 Exhibitors 嘅 Sharing Session 咧會有啲咩感想，或者係對於某一個 Exhibitor 佢嘅 Sharing 有啲咩發問咁樣㗎？好，如果冇咧，咁其實不如我哋去睇一睇啲展品啦。見我哋有3位都喺呢一度有佢嘅展品。好，咁。